Here's an example. So here I am, right? I'm John Q, business owner, and I have a maybe professional services practice, whatever it is, whether it's investments, whether it's it's 2,500, 3,500 square feet, small, right? Half a million, $1 million, building, and land is obviously worth more than the timber, right?
Mhm.
So let's say, I own that small building. I'm, maybe my revenue per year is like 1 or 2 million, right? I'm not a big guy. So can I say, hey, I want to get a cost segregation study, even though I have this, 2,500 or 3,500 or 5,000 square foot little house, on the corner somewhere?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And want to introduce the concept of bonus depreciation. So, if you look back to 2001, the 9/11 tax, Congress basically instituted bonus depreciation because they were worried for the economy to get ramped back up because everybody was kind of in a flux of like, hey, where is this headed? And so they passed a bill basically saying, hey, if you do capex, capital investment, and it meets certain criteria, you can get 100% bonus depreciation. So once you place it into service, that asset, you get 100% deduction right up front, as opposed to, traditionally bleeding over 39 years. And if you even do some of this cost seg, 5, 7, 10 years. So they're like, oh, this is fantastic. Well, that eventually sunset, and then back in the first Trump administration, they reintroduced bonus depreciation. And bonus depreciation also eventually, with that law, was going to get phased out, which it did. And then in this current administration, they passed tax reform again in July of last year. It was signed back into law. They made it permanent bonus depreciation. So there's certain components when you are going to do a cost segregation study, you can claim 100% bonus depreciation. And the reason I say this, Stuart, is to your question. If I have something small, should I be doing a cost segregation study? Well, prior to the rules of favorable bonus 100% bonus depreciation, it was probably not as cost beneficial. But now with 100% bonus depreciation, even some smaller, size property, you should be able to, pursue down this route. And that's one thing, our firm, we're always willing to have a conversation just to kick the tires to say, hey, is the juice worth the squeeze? We can do some modeling and say, hey, you know what, based on what you have, here's what we're anticipating in terms of deductions, and here's how much it would cost, i.e., our fees, our time, our effort to do it. So I think because now bonus is 100% bonus is back in as a permanent part of the tax law, everybody should be looking at it no matter what the size is.
So if I'm a small hotel owner, perfect. If let's say I'm a healthcare provider, and whether I'm a dentist, veterinarian, optometrist, I have an office condo that I maybe lease out for rental properties, or let's say I'm a potential hospital or other medical building. Those are perfect scenarios for cost segregations.
Absolutely. And if you look, Stuart, with respect to the medical field, a lot of these, build outs, they're going to be highly technical rooms dedicated for like, OR, especially like when you look at a hospital, even outpatient centers, there's going to be certain stuff in that building that should be classified as short life property. So at the end of the day, I have never, in the 25 years been doing this, not had a good conversation with somebody with a running a medical practice that hasn't done a cost segregation. Without
Wow.
a doubt, there's always going to be savings with respect to that. Now, I think I mentioned earlier, like the office building is less because it's a traditional building. If that tenant left and then the tenant moved in, well, you don't have to do the HVAC, you don't have to redo the electrical. But if a new tenant come in there and they were a physician's practice and it was a retail location before, there's going to be a significant build out to get it into the state that it needs to do its business in the medical field. So